Yeah, good morning, good morning. Shalom, shalom to all my people, all my family and friends in the world out there. Shalom, shalom. Gonna hopefully we could get brother Barnes to jump back in or to jump in. He on vacation. So but ultimately today we're gonna be discussing you know, financial financial freedom. Ways to get out of this oppression. To help out or to help get out of the oppression that we experience. And I mean, if you of the mindset that going to a 9 to 5 every day is a good thing, right? You going to a 9 to 5 is a good thing. You spending more time at the job than with your children and with your family is a good thing. If you think that's cool, then this really ain't for you. But I would implore you still to listen. I mean, because we were taught to go to school, get a job, get a good job, you know, you know, work for 20, 30 years till you 60, retire, boom, and live the rest of your, if you lucky, you get another 20 years. If God bless you, give you another 20, 25 years on this earth to just chill. All right, cool. Yeah, I don't think that's good. Nah. You know what I'm saying? Uh, 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 they teach their children, go to school, go to college, get a job, learn how to run a business, start your own business. So when we're talking about revolution, what is revolution? You have to define what is revolution. And Dr. Khalid Muhammad taught me that revolution is complete constructive change. So if we gotta have the mindset of complete constructive change, we gotta reevaluate the way we were taught. And there's no disrespect to our mothers or our fathers, our grandparents, and so forth, because they were only taught what by their parents, who was only taught by their parents all the way back to the slave master, all the way back to that white supremacist teaching and ideology. So they had a long time till it got to us to beat us in the head and say, hey, this is the new form of slavery. Let them work. Spend more time on a job. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Claude Anderson wrote a book called Black Labor, White Wealth. Go check that out. Go check that out. And it's a simple concept that somebody has to be the working class and somebody gotta benefit. So, a lot of people are afraid to take chances on themselves. Like, if I'm gonna gamble, if I'm gonna bet, I'm gonna bet it all on me. So why shouldn't I start a business? Why shouldn't I teach my children to start a business? My nieces, my nephews, my brothers and sisters. Why shouldn't we teach our people to start businesses instead of being employees? You understand? So this is what we got to do. So instead of talking about it, it's best just to get some ideas. So instead of complaining, excuse me, instead of complaining about everything, let's get some solutions. But before I get into the solutions, let me stop and say this: we give all praises to the Most High, God, whose real name is Yahweh. All right, and His only begotten Son, whose real name is Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Let's be clear about that. All praise, honor, and glory. All right, now let's continue. So as I was saying, we need to give solutions. Yes, we can complain about white supremacy, but we must understand that you cannot subjugate a people without their participation. So, as the Willie Lynch, if you ever read the Willie Lynch letters and understand the psychology behind it, it's a simple thing. Just keep giving them ways to divide themselves. So, Democrat, Republican, Crips, Bloods. I'm from South Side, you from North Side, or whatever. None of that stuff matters. You understand? You know what I mean? None of that stuff matters. I'm Christian. Even in the Christian population, you got Christians in a slew of denominations, Baptists, and all of this. All that stuff come from Catholicism. Most people don't research these things, which it all goes back to white supremacy. So, but instead of complaining about the conditions, let's show some solutions. So here's some solutions. Let me share my screen. Let's deal with some solutions. All right, cool. So I'm gonna talk from the perspective of in Arizona because that's where I live at right now. If it's all you gotta do is just Google, dealers car dealers license, and this is what comes up. Let me just go back. I put in different types of car dealers license, and I just went down to dealer license type, and this comes up. So here's the basic guidelines for motor vehicle dealer license types. You got new motor vehicles, used motor vehicles, wholesale motor vehicles, public consignment auction dealer, wholesale motor vehicle auction dealer, broker, manufacturer, and manufacturer of trailers. So obviously, some of these things will not apply to us. We're not even going to look at most of this information. New motor vehicle dealers, just so we can understand this. A person who buys, sells, exchanges, or offers or attempts to negotiate a sale or exchange of any interest in or who is engaged in the business of selling new motor vehicles or used motor vehicles, taken in a trade on new motor vehicles or used vehicle purchase for resale. And then it gives you stipulations, the application, filing fee, $15. You got to have $100,000 surety bond. Now, then surety bonds, even though it says that it's not that expensive, they're probably 1% of that. So 1.5%. Even at 3%, you only got to pay $3,000. So don't be afraid of a number like that. Transaction privilege license. That's nothing. A TPT license. You just go apply for that. Go to Google TPT license and the information will come up. Now, this is the thing, a franchise authorization for each manufacturer. And this is why we're not going to really concern ourselves with most of this information, because this is not going to apply to our people because of our condition that white supremacy has placed us in. So we're not going to be able to afford to buy manufacturing authorizations and being able to franchise BMW at this point, because we're just starting out as working poor people. So we were dealing more the used motor vehicle dealer or wholesale motor vehicle dealer. Used motor vehicle dealer is what you see every day on the streets. When you see dealerships up and down the road, those is for the majority of them is used motor vehicle dealers, and that's the optimum level that we would like to be in, essentially, because that's when you can get dealer financing and things of that nature, and customer financing. So when you can have relationships with banks. So let's just start at the bottom tier, which is wholesale motor vehicle dealers license. So ultimately, a person who sells used motor vehicles only to licensed motor vehicle dealers required application documents. Application $15 for the filing fee. It's 25,000 surety bond. Again, that's only a small percentage. All right, like a 1%. You do the math. So TPT license, they do a criminal background check. Now, let's be clear about something. You can have a felony. You can have multiple felonies and become a dealer and get into the dealership business. Now, this is a cash heavy business. So understand something. Don't say and don't let anyone tell you that, I got a felony, I can't do it. Don't let nobody say that. They have no problem with a felony, except felonies dealing with fraud. Any type of insurance fraud, any type of fraud like that. So they don't play with that. So, but if you just have a simple, drug felony conviction or something to that nature, maybe an assault, or even a robbery, people don't listen to people. I've heard many people say you can't do this with a felony, and I looked this stuff up, and you can. Okay, let's move on. Each partner and each applicant who owns 20% or more of an entity who seeks a new license must provide a personal history form and fingerprint card to enable motor vehicle divisions to conduct a criminal record check. So this simply means if you own 20% of the company, so say you have a couple of your brothers and sisters, and y'all go into the business and there's 4 of you, and y'all each own 25% of the business. That means everybody who owns 20% or more of the company, 20% or more of the company has to apply, be on the application, and they have to get a fingerprint card, which ultimately they just have to go to a third party and get a fingerprint card. I think it's like $22. It's not really a big deal. All right. The criminal record check may not apply if the applicant is for a subsequent license, or each partner in each applicant owning 20% or more of an entity has completed a criminal records check through the MVD during the past 5 years or is currently licensed. So ultimately, if you haven't had a criminal background check in the last 5 years, then this statement does not apply to you. So if you did do a background check in the last 5 years, then you don't have to do it because your fingerprints and all your information is already in the system. So moving on, an applicant as referenced above who has been convicted of fraud or an auto-related felony within the last 10 years or any other type of felony within the last 5 years will have his or her license application denied. Okay, so there's the stipulation. There it is. Who has been convicted of fraud or auto-related felony within the last 10 years. So if you got that felony within the last 10 years, you can't apply. Or any type of felony within the last 5 years. So even if you got a felony within the last 5 years, right? And then it goes on to say that your license will be application will be denied. If application is denied, MVD will notify the applicant in writing of denial and the grounds for denial. The applicant may appeal the denial by requesting an administrative hearing, and if denial is upheld, appeal to the Maricopa County Superior Court. Now, this is the thing, man. What are we talking about? We're talking about white supremacy. All right. Now, here's the problem with this. Even though you a person with a felony within the last 5 years, you did your time in jail, right? You had your day in court, right? You whether you pled guilty or got convicted, you did your time in jail. You came home, right? You went to the correctional facility, right? That's what they call them. You come home from jail, you served your time, right? Why should you be punished more because of that conviction? Should do people not change? But this is why we talk about white supremacy, because this is the type of things that they put in front of us. This is the type of pitfall. This is the type of stumbling blocks that they always place in front of us, and they do it to black people primarily because why? We are the ones that fills the jails. Make no mistake about that. Black people, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Spanish people, what they deem as Spanish, Mexican, those is all our people, and we are flooded. We fill these jails, even though if you look on FBI.gov, you can see the statistics of who does the most crimes. And lo and behold, who do you think it will be? Go check it out for yourself. Now, moving right along, but this is the problem with the double standards and how they continue to try to oppress and hurt our people. So don't tell me white supremacy doesn't exist. Open our eyes, let's deal with it and move on. Now, if this applies to you, if you have a felony, let your moms do the business for you. Let your father do the business. Let your brother do the business. And you just be an employee. That's it. This is not a deep hurdle. This ain't something that you gotta jump a mile to get over, bro. It's nothing illegal about you getting a job at a dealership. So have your moms do the business. That's it. It says you can own less than 20. It says anybody who owns 20% right here. Let me highlight it so we could be clear, because I'm talking legal business. This is nothing illegal. You understand what I'm saying? Our people just don't have the information, and they don't know, and they don't understand legalese. So it says the criminal records check may not apply. Excuse me, that's not the one I was looking for. This one right here. It says each partner, right, and each applicant who owns 20% or more of an entity and who seeks a new license must provide a personal history form and fingerprint card to enable motor vehicle division to conduct a criminal records check. So this is a simple. All that means is if you own 20% or more, listen to the language. This is legalese, so you got to understand the language. Each partner and each applicant who owns 20% or more. So now, if it's 4 people and it's let's just say myself, my brother, my mother, and my other brother, right? It's 4 of us, and I got a felony, right? So he's saying that I got a felony within the last 5 years, so I'm going to be, the whole application is going to be denied. So what do? I just take less than 20% of the company. It says each partner and each applicant who owns 20% or more of an entity who seeks a new license must provide a personal history form and fingerprint card to enable motor vehicle division to conduct a criminal records check. So ultimately, if you own 19% and less, you don't have to get a fingerprint card, and you still are part of the ownership of the business. So this is how we got to understand legalese. This is not a big deal, but it is a problem because some people are on their own, and some people don't have family. Excuse me. Moving right along. It says, let's jump back down. And if you got to go to court and fight it because they deny you, just go to court and say, yo, like, I did my time in jail. I'm reformed. I'm trying to start a business. I know what's the problem. They're human beings, and Lord willing, most people will be rational and they'll give you the license, and you just keep it pushing and do what you got to do. If they deny you, like I said, 19%, man, that's the number. Just be at 19% and lower as far as your ownership. Divide the business between your family and those who got felonies. You don't have to get fingerprint cards, but you still own the business with your family. Simple as that. Okay. Authorization to release information, statement of personal history. That's you just giving them authorizing to have your personal information. Authorized presence. Articles of incorporation. Ultimately, just get your business name. Go to the Corporation Commission, whether Arizona Corporation Commission or New York Corporation Commission. .gov. Search the name that you want to search, and if it's available, start the business name. It explains it to you and all its definitions, and you just fill in the blanks. If you get something wrong, they'll send it back. They'll tell you what you got wrong. You fix it, you send it back. You'll have your business name. You call the IRS, you get an EIN number. You go open up a business account. You have a legal business, and your articles of incorporation is official. So these are the things that you need. Your articles of incorporation is one thing that you have to have. You got to get your fingerprint card. Now, for those who have felonies, if you own less than 20%, meaning 19% or lower, you do not have to get your fingerprint card. Just have somebody else own more than 20%. Get it. Moving right along, you got to get your surety bond. As it stated, 25,000 surety bond. And it says lease agreement or copy of deed, if applicable. Now, this is the thing with a wholesale car dealer license. You can do this from your home. You don't have to have an office. You can actually do this from your home. All right. So this is a wholesale car dealer license. So this doesn't apply to wholesalers. Okay. Plate application. So now, as a wholesale dealer, you can have dealer plates. I think you get up to 3 of them. Because you're going to be transporting cars and doing business, right? So you can get up to 3 of them. So you can apply for that. I think it's like $30 a plate. Physical location pictures. So you got to take the pictures of the 4 corners of where you live at, whether it's an apartment building, a house, or whatever, a business. But again, you can do this from your home, and that's all you need. So again, we're talking about wholesale motor vehicle dealer's license. So this is the simple thing that we got to deal with right here. $25,000 surety bond. This is one thing that you need. All right. TPT license, 2. A criminal background check. And again, if you don't have a felony within the last 5 years, you ain't got to worry about this. Just do it. And as simple as that. If you have a felony within the last 5 years, split the business amongst your family. If you got children, and you as the individual, you take 19%, and it's all legal. Nothing illegal about this. And I stand behind my work. So I say this, and this is legal. Now, this is not, I'm not giving legal advice, by the way. I'm just telling you what I would do. So I'm not giving no legal advice. I'm not a lawyer. I'm like white supremacists. You got to be careful about the way you speak. So I'm not a lawyer. I'm not giving legal advice. I'm just telling you what I would do. So if I had a felony within the last 5 years, I would split it between my family and take 19%, and it's all legal. Okay, cool. So you got to get your fingerprint card. You got to do that. All right. What else it says? You got to get your articles of incorporation, and then you got to get the photos of your background, your four corners of your home. And this is a car dealer's license. But let's be more specific. Let me go to Metro. Give me 1 second. Let me go to metroaa.com real quick. This is the website only for people who have their dealer's license. All right. So but this is only for people who have dealer license, right? So as we go into this, we can go to pre-sales search. You can go to pre-sale listening, buy a vehicle now, post-sale. So for this, so we can get a deeper understanding of why it's important to get this type to get into this business of dealerships. We can see what type of cars are being sold and what they're being sold for at these auctions. And this is one of the best kept secrets. They don't want people to know about this. This is a cash heavy business, meaning you can walk in there with 50,000 cash and buy cars. This is a cash heavy business. Nothing illegal about this business, but it's designed the way we can understand it. We as meaning our people that I'm gonna be more specific. This is really designed for more street dudes, but anybody can do this. But if you come from the streets the way I came from the streets, you can understand this business, and it is so simple. So let's just let's just look at this. So here it is. You got Acuras. It's an alphabetical order. So let's just go down to, most people know about BMW. So let's just look at some of these BMWs and what kind of numbers it's going for. All right. So now it depends on what kind of money you want to spend. So let's be clear of that. So me, if I'm doing it, I'm gonna just tell you what kind of money I want to spend. I don't want to spend, if I'm gonna buy a BMW, I don't really spend more than well, it's not about how much I don't want to spend. It's about my demographics. What's your demographics? Who is your targeting market? Who are you gonna sell your vehicles to? So if you got people, if you know a plethora of people who buys and can afford expensive cars, because you got to remember this is a word of mouth type of business, then who's your demographic? Now we're talking wholesale dealership, so we don't got to go into the specifics of retail, but ultimately let's just speak on a hotel or a wholesale perspective. So if you're gonna buy into these cars, what kind of money? We ain't got to deal with demographics at this point. Excuse me for a second. Yeah, pardon me. All right. So again, I started to explain it as if it was retail, but I'm not going to explain it as if it was retail. I'll explain it purely as a wholesale type of business, wholesale business. Excuse me. So let's just say you brought a car like this, right? Let me see. Okay, perfect. Right here. A 2007 uh, BMW, 180 86,000 miles, $1,900 is what it costs. So let's look at the pictures. Let's look at the pictures so we can see how it looked. So this is how the vehicle looked. Let's go to the next picture. So you can see the mileage on there. You can see the back of it, the side. Okay. So ultimately, it's nothing to write home about, but it's $1,900. But ultimately, let's just say you brought 10 of those. Let's just say you brought 10 cars like this in this price range, about $2,000. Now, you take it, you can go to any car dealership that's anywhere up and down the street, and ultimately, you can say, yo, sell my car for me. Let me put my car on your lot. Let me pay you. You can work out a deal, negotiate a deal. Let me place my car on your lot. You sell the car for me. We split the profits 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, however you want to do it. Because you can give them all your costs, and y'all can come to an arrangement of what you're willing, how y'all gonna work out the money exchange. You understand? So it's just that simple. And we just got to be aware of how to do business, how to talk to people. So if you got 10 cars like this and you buy them at $2,000, let's just say, you can get $6,000 for this car. So that's a $4,000 profit. And let's just say you splitting the profit with the guy 50-50. You just made 20,000 like this, 2,000 off of each car. You just made 20,000 in a month. These cars go like this. And then and then you can have other people that you just pushing towards that dealership. Like, yo, go to that dealership. There's 10 BMWs over there. Go look at those. You're gonna have people just telling people to do that. There's nothing illegal about that. Because you're not in the actual transaction aspect of the retail part. So, I'm just trying to get you to see how easy and simple business work. So let's go back. Let's go back to the list. All right. So that's just BMW. But let's just look at some regular cars. Okay, Chevy Malibus. Let's look at some of these. These were I consider like regular cars, nothing extravagant, but a decent car. So here's a 2010 Malibu, got 100,000 miles, 1,600. Here was another one that sold 2010 red with 93,000 miles, sold for 1,600. Here's another one. Here's another one with 180,000 miles, blue, sold for 21. But let's look now. So again, what kind of money are you trying to spend? What kind of profit are you trying to make? This is what you got to think about when you're dealing in wholesale. Now, again, you can ultimately bring your cars, however many cars you have. You can go and give them to 10. Let's say you brought 10 cars. You can give them to 10 separate dealerships, or you can give them to one dealership or two, however you want to do. However you build your relationship. We're just talking to people, because ultimately they have to go to the dealership. They have to go to the same auction that you're going to be going to buy the cars. So if that's going to be the case, then cut. Hey, look, you ain't even got to go. Here's some cars, yo, and make free money. You didn't, because they didn't invest anything in it. All they're doing is investing their space, some of their space on their lot. So they're not investing actual capital into it. So the simple thing is, let's just split the profit. If that's how you're going to do, if that's what you do, I don't do business like that. If I'm going to bring you something, I need a little bit more, but it's cool. If that's what you do, 50% profit, and y'all split that. If you sell each car for a $4,000 profit, you buy these cars at $1,600, and you split them. Let's just say, again, we're looking at 16. Let's say you sell these cars at $6,000, you make a $4,400 profit. Y'all split that in half. That's $2,200 on per car that you'll be making a profit. And we're talking, hypothetically, all numbers being even. This is without paying transportation. This is without any of this stuff. So understand business, and you can start to factor those numbers in. I shouldn't have to do that to you. I'm just showing you the information. So again, you just splitting 2,200 off of each car. That's 22,000 if you got per 10 cars. If you do that in a month, just think about that. Just think about how much money that is. It's a lot of money to have 22,000 in a month. That's your money that you can continue to invest in and continue to grow. You know, and it's just that simple. Up until the point where you get into the retail aspect of the business. Now, with retail is everything that you need for a wholesale dealership. But the only difference is you need $25,000 in your bank account and you need an office. If you could give me 1 second, please. Just all right, pardon me, guys. Go back. Now, as I was saying, if now the only difference between wholesale and retail license is and you need everything that you need for wholesale license, you need it for a retail license. But you need a building, an office. So you have to get an office. Now, with your office, all you need is 3 parking spots. You need a handicap parking spot, the car that you're selling, and the customer. So that's 3 parking spots. I have this. So let's just say you got a little one of those little office where it's a couple parking spots in the front, and then you got a little warehouse. You got an office in the front, a little warehouse thing in the back. So $800 a month, nothing crazy. All right, little $800 a month. If you're doing business with your family and trusted friends and like-minded individuals that's trying to build for their family, and then by way of building for their family, they're gonna help the community, then that's the type of people you need to deal with. And that's the type of people you need to have in your corner. So if you're dealing with brothers like that, if you got 4 brothers and y'all got to give up $200 a month each, that's $50 a week. That's not a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? So, and if it's more people, just do the math and break it down. It's not rocket science. So, so you need the office. Let's just say that's $800, right? With a minimum of 3 parking spots, $800 a month. Okay, cool. So you got to have that type of money when you're dealing with a retail license. So $800 a month. Keep that number in mind. You have to have a surety bond. So again, the surety bond is 100,000. Now you're just paying a percentage, which is at the worst case scenario. I mean, the worst case might be like 3%. So that's only $3,000. Best case scenario might be less, 1%, and that's $1,000. Not a big deal. So that's $1,800 you got to have up front right then and there before you apply for this dealer license. Okay. Now, another thing is you have to have 25,000 in your bank account before you apply for this license. So that means you have to have provable money. Because the whole thing is the government understands that this is a cash heavy business, so they don't want you to just be able to jump in this business. You understand what I'm saying? So they want you to have verifiable funds. So now if it's 5 of you guys and y'all all got 5,000, excuse me, if it's 4 of you guys and y'all all got 5,000 each, or five of you got 5,000 each, that's 25,000. That's not a lot of money. Everybody can get a cashier's check, write it on, business investment as part of the business of what y'all doing. And as simple as that, you can show your money 25,000 between if you got 5 people. So just think about that. Our people, we get tax returns every year, and this is comes down to financial literacy. We get tax returns every year, and what do people do with it? Most people go buy furniture, cars, jewelry, clothes, go hang out. Most people where I come from do that. Okay, but some, smarter ones may do other things, but ultimately, the by and large, I see people spending their tax return, right, on frivolous things. So if you just think about that, if you came together with 5 people out of your, 4, 5, 6, 7,000, 8,000 tax return, whatever people get, and y'all come together and everybody put up 5,000 between 5 people, this is something that you can do, and it's obtainable, and it's not hard. So get that 25,000 up, put it in a bank account, cashier checks, put it all in the bank, a business account, because again, you got to have your articles of incorporation. So once you get your articles of incorporations, you get your EIN number, you get your business account, get your funds together, you put it in your business account, investment. So now when the government comes and do the investigation on you, the DMV, because they're going to want to know where that 25 come from, they can clearly see that this is a business investment. Here's the investors. And it's as simple as that. This is not legal advice. This is something that I'm just telling you what I would do. Okay, cool. So there you have it. Now, am I leaving anything out? So no, I think that's about it. So it's just as simple as that. 25,000 in office, your surety bond, articles of incorporation, and TPT license, fingerprint card. So you just got to do the steps that it takes. Investigate this business. This is cash heavy business. So now let's just say you're a car dealer, a used car dealer license. You got a small business, a very small business, where it's really minuscule. So here's the problem, right? Once you apply for the license, it can take a month to 4 months. And this is why being able to aggregate our resources and come together as a people, this is why this kind of business is very essential, because you can divide the weight amongst you and split the profits. And it's a great thing because it can build the nation. This is one of those cash heavy, this is a business that can be an economic power base, because Black people, we buy cars. We buy a lot of cars. So shouldn't we be in the business of owning the vehicles? Of selling the vehicles to and being the primary customers, because everybody comes from their communities and sell cars to our people, but they don't bring the money back to our community. They go and take it to their community. So shouldn't we be able to bring that money to our neighborhoods? So this is just a simple thing of group economics. Let's not be afraid to practice group economics. We do it when we do it, and we all have seen this. At least to my audience, that we all have seen brothers put money together to go buy drugs and go buy a pound of weed and then build it up and split it and do whatever they do. We've seen brothers do this, or worse, drugs. So take that same ideology, apply it to this business, and and you will flourish. And it's all legal. There's nothing illegal about this. Police can never kick in your door if you're invested into this business and this business alone. Now, if you have a small business, like I said, $800 a month, and you're paying $800 a month, they got up to 4 months to give you this license. It can take up to 1 month or 4 months. So just being a logical person, you got to say, I got to at least have that 4 months worth of rent. Okay, so at 800, that's $3,200 that you need to have already. Hey, shalom, brother.
Oh, shalom, bro.
Yeah, in on this really on this car, the car dealer business, explaining the concept and explaining the aspect of it. But let me finish my tutorial. What I was saying.
I didn't know even I was coming through live like that.
No, it's all good, my brother. It's all good. Shalom. So what I was saying is, you got to have that $800 a month for 4 months. That's $3,200. You got to have 25,000 in your bank account. That's Anybody got the number? Ultimately, what I say, 25 and 328. So ultimately, I say have about 30,000 to get this started. Really, to get it started. 32,000 and 25,000 is not a lot of money. You gotta have. I have about 28 and some change, but ultimately have about 30,000 to go into this business. And that's why it's essential to start out with a wholesale business. Get your 30,000, and then do this. Get into this, or just go and get 5 people, 5, 6 people, and everybody put up a couple dollars and make this happen. You understand? So once you get this going, you can just take where we at. Let's look at some of these Malibus again. 1,600. Now listen to this number. If you got 16 cars, excuse me, if you buy 10 Malibus, 2010. Let's look at the picture so we can get a deeper understanding. Okay, so look, everything is explained. So it was sold for $1,600. So it says not actual miles, a salvage title. Now, me personally, I wouldn't really deal with that. I wouldn't really deal with a salvage title. Now, I might buy that for me personally to drive around, but I wouldn't do it to sell to somebody because that's not good business. And there's nothing wrong with having salvage cars with cars with a salvage title, but I personally wouldn't do that. So I wouldn't recommend that. So let's go to find a different vehicle. Hey, brother, you could jump in anytime you want. Okay.
Oh yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, bro.
Nah, I'm familiar with this bakery, and that's definitely a dope opportunity. Only thing I've had is, what I mean, for us to achieve this success, uh, financial success, it all starts mentally. You know what I'm saying? So grasping towards wisdom and you know what I'm saying, and preparing yourself mentally for that success is the first part, and then these things is attainable, man. Man, for sure. I'm out here in Puerto Rico right now, man, so I'm just tapping in.
Now, all praise, man. We good to see you. I hope your family's enjoying the trip.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Man.
I want to find a good vehicle outside that 1,600.
Hey, what's up to the people?
Okay, let's look at this one real quick. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect.
that's dope, man. That opportunity right there.
See this?
Everybody been running up stimulus checks and PPP loans and all that, and misusing the funds, man. Don't take an opportunity to try to keep up with the Joneses, man, or get the latest pair of sneakers, man. Invest in something. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? That,
indeed,
man. Let's get right. You know what I'm saying? Get you know, start off with that small seed, that plant that small seed, and let that grow. Water that. Let that get some sunlight. You know what I mean? Put some energy behind that, man. Don't get crazy, y'all. Don't get crazy. It's intellectual dialogue. We're here to help y'all get some financial freedom too, man. Tap in. Share this.
indeed. Here's a good car right here, bro. Saying 2013 Impala. Damn, see, there's a lot of salvage titles, and that's why we got to be careful. That's why we gotta look at these cars, and you got to go to the auction and investigate these cars before you buy them. Don't just go to the auction on the day. Go a couple days before. Go check out the vehicles, drive them,
Mhm.
inspect them, put them on the diagnostic machine, and and and, and really look at them. Make sure that they've good cars, and see what if anything wrong with them and what you're willing to deal with. Okay, so here's a perfect example: a 2012 Chevy Impala, right? Trim package LT, 164,000 miles, right? 3.6. All right, cool. Let's look at some of the pictures. Silver, that's the mileage. So as you can see, there's no damage. Now we're doing it from here. So imagine if you was there and investigating it, you can pop the hood. But here's the idea. Let's say you go into this. Now, once you get this dealership, remember, you still have your $25,000 in your bank account. And now you can invest that 25,000 into this. So let's just say you brought 10 of these cars, 10. You bought 10 cars, $20,000. Now, of course, you have to transport them and all this and that, but we're not going to speak to that. That's an expense that you, as a business owner, need to understand and plan for. So $2,000, you buy 10 of these, or something to this effect. That's $20,000. Now, let's just say, how much can you actually sell these for? Let me look this up. 2013 Chevy Impala. Real quick. Give me a second. Okay, perfect. Yeah, share the screen. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. Just give me a second. Working, still learning how to utilize this. Okay, here we go. So the vehicle is worth about $6,000. $6,000, 65, 7, 4, 10,
It's big flips,
95.
y'all.
Yeah,
These are flips, y'all. I'm just saying that as you stroll through it, these are big flips, y'all. These sell trip like this is a big flip, y'all. Like this is financial freedom. This is what you keep going, like you know what I'm saying? You keep building on, like it's what you should be doing with your stimulus and PPPs and all that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it's what you should be doing, man. Playing yourself, you ain't doing this, man.
nah, for real. And like you said, like this is financial freedom. Like, man, that's just an amazing part of it. So let's just now you said we seen 10, we seen 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just keep it simple because this is your business. So let's keep it simple and say you just make $1,500 profit on all your cars. That's so you'll be selling the cars for 3,500, no matter what anybody else is selling the cars for. You're selling a car for 3,500, even if you want to do a $4,000 price.
You're doing it all in slippers, man.
Exactly.
You ain't
So
even got to get dressed, man.
say again, my brother.
I said you can do all that in your slippers, man. You ain't even got to get dressed, man.
Exactly. And it's that simple. So
Even
if
in slippers.
that's what we're doing, if we're flipping cars and we're no longer in the streets, right? We're no longer selling drugs and doing all of this and hurting our community. Now we're helping our community because we're selling cars to the community. People can do Lyft and all these other, delivery jobs and whatnot. They can do all of this stuff. So we're no longer hurting our people. We're aiding the community, and then we can start to teach others and bring others in and help others get their businesses going. Because we've been taught wrong. The game is to be told, not sold. We need to share this information and not hoard it. You got anything on that, bro? You still there?
Nah, I'm still here. That's a fact, bro. Wow.
So it's just as simple as that. So again, bro, just putting $1,500 on each car. If you're selling these cars, you putting a point and a half on the cars, right? And you selling them at
You put me
35.
on to this. I'm letting you tell it, bro. My bad. Because you put me on to
Yeah,
this.
I'm kicking it with you. I'm asking you. Does this make sense to you as a business owner? Does this make sense to you as a dude that was in the streets at one point in your life?
A lot of sense to me, bro.
Yeah. So if we buy cars for 2,000, we put 1,500 on it. We make 3,500 on each car. We buy 10 cars. That's $15,000. If you sell the 10 cars in a month, that's $15,000 in a month. Your rent is $800. You only invested 20. You know what I'm saying? So you still got that money back.
30. I mean, they have 30 years of experience on it.
What's she saying? You talking to you, bro?
Right?
Say that again.
No, no. I was saying, is your wife talking to us or?
Oh no. She talking to the young one.
Oh, okay.
He
Oh,
just went to the he want to get some. He want to get to dessert. So he just went over to the bathroom with half his food, threw it in the trash.
all right. All right. Let's look at some other examples.
You know what I'm
Let's look
saying?
at some other examples, bro.
He
Because
can help me.
say again,
He can
brother.
help me achieve financial freedom.
What the hell? Oh, that's just
Hey, brother, where you guys at right now?
Now you ain't pay attention. Look at what you did. You know what happened?
well, because I didn't practice with.
My guy's on vacation. He enjoying himself. Say again, bro.
No, look, man.
I know I
Yeah,
play.
you see him with the
Let's
family.
stick that shot in there.
Yeah, but hey, brother. Hey, let me go
Yeah, my
back into
bad.
this
Keep it
lesson.
going, bro.
Yeah, let me go back into this lesson real quick.
I know we wrapping it up. Right? We almost at that hour.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up in the next few minutes. Indeed. So yeah, I want to give people some better examples, right? They got every car you can think of, whatever you particularly like. Now, again, we're talking about what's this is for retail dealers. What is your demographic? Who are you going to be selling your cars to? Because understand something, word of mouth is the best advertisement. So if you sell a car to somebody for 3,500, as we just saw, you sell somebody a 2013 Impala that you brought for $1,600, let's just say, or $2,000, and you sold him for 3,500. He's gonna tell his brother, his sister, his mother, his everybody. Who are your demographics and who are you selling to? This is what we gotta understand when we're dealing with business. So it's not about your office and your location. You can have the smallest office, a closet, as long as you got what it takes. You meet the requirements to get the license. Do it, because it's not about that. You can buy the cars and just park the cars anywhere. So you don't gotta have a big lot like these car dealerships on the main street. Don't think in that way. Think small. Think I could just sell one car at a time if you have to. You're making $1,500 per flip, and you sell one car a week. Just you as an individual. If you sell one car a week, right, and you make $1,500 per car, and you do that a month, that's $6,000 a month. In 10 months, that's 60,000. In a year, you just made 72,000. All you're doing is flipping one car a week, like this. You ain't even working, no job. You just online. You just online. I got a 2012 Impala for 3,500, 2013, 3,500, 3,700, 3,800. You can go up and down if that's what you want to do. I'm just telling you what I would do is $1,500 profit to $2,000 profit. So every 10 cars, I make 20,000, and I'll break that down into a month, and then you can just do the math. If you're doing it by yourself, if you're doing it amongst a group effort, you are gonna win, because now you got more people that's pushing the idea, or that's pushing the vehicles that you're selling. So again, we can't be afraid to aggregate our resources and do better by our people and do better for our family. Why should you slave yourself for a company and work for 40 hours a week plus overtime? And you got to work some overtime, because you're not going to make no real money unless you're doing overtime. So why do that if you can invest that energy and that time into yourself and to building up your family and building your family's business? Why we can't do that? Shouldn't that be the method of operation for our people? Because look, if us working in jobs, if us having jobs, if that was going to get us out of this oppressive state that we're in, then we would have been out of it. So obviously that's not the answer. As a collective effort, getting a job and working for 30 years, retiring until you and sitting back till you die, that is not the answer, or it would have worked already. And our people would not be under the oppression of white supremacy. So it's not working. We got to think, we got to do something different and better, and invest our energy in our own shoulders and into our own family. Because the man who took the chance, he's the one he's the one that owns the company, and the man who didn't take the chance is the man that's working in the company. So let's be clear about that. Now let's look at this car real quick. 2011. I'm not in. I wouldn't particularly spend
And
my money.
I'm not even gonna lie. My bad. Before you even move on to that, I just want to piggyback a little bit on that. And it's
Yeah,
to the
go
point.
ahead.
It's so serious that if you out there like protesting and all that, and you working a job, you your own enemy because you got to understand the system is set up to have you entrapped in that circle, right? So if you're participating in that, then you're part of the system. You're working the system. You're adding to the system, and you're not helping yourself. You're not helping the people. So your protest is like null and void. I'm just telling
Nah, straight up,
you.
and that's what it is, man.
Mhm.
When we're talking about there's no, you're not gonna beat the white supremacists with force. Number one, and you damn sure ain't gonna beat them with protesting. That is not gonna be it. Now, I do agree that at some point you gotta boots gotta hit the ground, but nothing that you can't wage revolution without economics. And to deal in economics, we gotta have a different mindset. We got to have a revolution of the mind. We have a complete constructive change of the mind, of the way we deal with each other, the way we deal with business, the way we even look at the whole ideology of the American dream, which is ultimately American nightmare for us. So let's find ways to remedy this. And this is a cash heavy business that we can invest in and build off of. So here's another car. Here's another example to see how serious it is. Oh, that's a salvage title. I'm not. Remember, we're not dealing with no salvage titles. We got to stay away from those. Right. So as this reload, we'll find a good car. Now remember, some people, it's about your demographic. So some people can buy cars for $4,000 and and sell them for 8,000, 10,000, 12,000. Some people can do that. I personally, I don't want to do that. That's not my idea. I wouldn't want to do my people in that manner. I would want to sell them good cars at a good number and reliable vehicles that don't break down. And ultimately, I will go get my own mechanics and open up a mechanic shop. So this is not legal advice. This is just what I would do. And maybe you should think about doing something to that effect as well. You know, it ain't as hard as it sounds. It's very simple, and everybody else is doing this. Okay, so this is a 2008 BMW 3 Series, underbody damage, frame damage. So, and then it tells you, it explains everything to you, all your options, pictures, market report. Yeah, yeah. So, again, you got to investigate what you want to do on these cars, but I want to find a better car because I wouldn't invest my money into that vehicle at all unless I had a mechanic to deal with it. So you gotta look at these things and understand this because this is the business that you're getting into. If this is what you're gonna do, this is just an option. There's a many more businesses that we can get into. We just gotta investigate them and study them and learn the ins and out. All right. So when I find a real decent car. I look at this one already. Give me 1 second. I'm about to wrap this up though, guys. I just want to give this last example of a solid vehicle. Damn, it seems like everything is salvage nowadays, man. That's why you just got to be in it now. You can, again, people can buy those. I wouldn't. I'm not into that. I wouldn't buy that. You know. But you might have somebody that you know, and depends on what relationships you're trying to sell. And remember, this is a word of mouth business. So if you just selling these to people you can buy these cars with salvage title if they're good cars, and then do good business. You just gotta be able to fix them if it's an issue, and try to and do right by the person. You don't want to hurt our people. You want to try to do the best by them. So again, here's one 5,700. Let's just say you again. I wouldn't invest my money into this, but let's just say you are the type that wants to do that, and you have an abundance of capital where you can invest in these. So let's just say you spend 5,700 on this vehicle, right? This is the BMW. It's a 2010 5 Series 550 4.8. Right? See the mileage 149,000. So look, it's a really nice car. Looks nice. Whatever. People was into that. I'm not really into it, but again, this is not an investment for me. But you can do this. 5,700. You can buy that car, even if you just sell it for. If you put 1,500, which I wouldn't do because I want to make more money on that deal. Just a $3,000. That's 8,700. You make $3,000 on this deal. You do that with 10 cars. That's $30,000. This is the type of business that we can do as a people, and really bubble off of, and really make something happen. So with that, I didn't want to be too long winded. I'm gonna say shalom, shalom. Hey, bro, you want to sound off?
It's just that, man. Let's be free. So it really, a lot of times I've heard people say, and I've never thought that, I never really paid too much attention to it. But when they say, success is mental first, like that's the realest thing ever, yo. So let's, you know what I'm saying? Let's think towards success. Let's sit back and ask yourself, like, are you really ready right now for $10 million to be dropped? Are you really ready? Like, you know what I'm saying? So get your mind right, get ready, and then watch those things come to you easily. Watch. You know what I'm saying? That's it, man. Think free.
That's right.
Think free.
Exactly. All right. With that, brother, I'm gonna say shalom, bro. Enjoy your trip. All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. I get with you.
Follow the
Shalom.
network, y'all. Follow the network, y'all.
Yeah, follow the network, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. All platforms. All right. Shalom.
Peace.
Oh, okay, that's a lot.
Peace,
Yeah,
y'all.
no,
Follow the
thank you.
network.
If you know my mind, I'm like, yeah,
Share, like, subscribe. Appreciate everybody. Going in this thing off, man. We in Puerto Rico live. I think we're like Chinatown, Puerto Rico right now.
Be safe.
But,
All right.
yeah. Appreciate it. I didn't want to let y'all down, like, you know what I'm saying? We said we're going to be here every Sunday. We're going to be there every Sunday. You know what I'm saying? 12 to 4. We're going to have this dialogue. I mean, wherever I'm at, whatever we doing. You know what I'm saying? You heard? A fan with me? Yeah. Peace, y'all.